All right, let's let them in. And then, do you know how to switch it so that they can just start entering without you having to let them in?
Yeah.
Okay. 11 participants. Let's go. They're ready. Oh, and just change our view so we can see them on the grid.
Okay, we'll do here's live now.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Nice to see you. Well, not yet. Soon.
We will see you in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
But until then,
Yeah.
how's it going, Shane?
Excellent. Thank you so much. Today was my 15th wedding anniversary.
15th wedding.
15 years.
Now I know, because remember, you couldn't remember if it was the day before Christmas or the
Yes,
day after
day
Christmas.
Day after.
So it's the day after.
Officially Boxing Day.
Yeah. Boxing Day.
In Canada.
Canadian Boxing Day
Yes.
is your anniversary.
Yes. I'll never forget again.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until next year.
Until next year. Yeah. Happily married.
Happily.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, guys. How's
John,
it going over
Chuck.
there? How'd you know that was Kimberly?
I saw her name.
Yeah. Kimberly was on the
Yes.
She was a guest.
She was a Guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know her.
Hi, Katie.
Do you?
Katie.
She's my
Hi,
fiance.
Natalie.
Oh,
That's your
amazing.
fiance?
That's my fiance.
Oh,
That's my
shoot. Okay.
amazing. Yeah.
God,
Awesome.
she was here, right? A
Yeah.
few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Perfect.
In all fairness, I forget her birthday sometimes. I have to
Yeah.
look it up.
Oh,
Love you, hon.
man.
Sorry.
You admitted it on air.
Yeah.
It's the honest truth. I just have to look it up sometimes.
I'm pretty good at
Thank you,
I got
Natalie.
my wife's birthday. Natalie who? Hey, Natalie, even Marie's in the house.
Yeah.
What the hell? Where's your camera, Natalie, Eva Marie? You don't have one? All right. Well, Shane, what are you doing now?
Nothing. Putting it away.
Shane's ADD is really bad today. So what's happening?
Not a heck of a lot.
How was your Christmas?
Excellent.
How was your
It was
Christmas?
very good.
Nice.
Very, very nice.
Yeah. Mine was peaceful. I did nothing. I had my in-laws. Once that in-laws were over, him and her,
Beautiful.
Very nice.
fed them.
Wait,
Then they went to sleep. And I left early in the morning. Never to see them again that day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, how's everybody else doing out there? I feel like I
Still
hear a
the cowboy
couple.
hat. I see a cowboy
I
hat.
feel I hear a couple people's
Chitter.
unmuted.
Chitter chatter. I hear chitter chatter. This guy, that's a nice little sunset. Is he in Arizona? The guy in the brown. You know who I'm talking to. I'm pointing at you, bro.
With the cowboy hat on?
No.
Ah.
No, the other guy with the nice sunset behind him.
Oh, that's not a real sunset. That's a background.
Well, that's fake.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me, Efe. You got me.
Can you put the mouse over the screen so we can see
See
everybody's
names?
names?
I was
Yeah.
talking to Victor.
Victor. I think
Victor.
Victor might be from Arizona though. Where are you from, Arizona, Victor? He's like-
Victor's typing. He's not even fucking listening to us. Victor's on his own little planet right now. He's doing something else. He's typing away. He's fucking ignoring us. Now he's smiling. Thanks for paying attention, Victor. We've been talking to you for the last 3,
He's
4,
in
5
New
minutes.
Mexico. He's in New Mexico.
Oh, New Mexico. I knew it was a beautiful background like that.
So I just want to let everybody know that our normal engineers are off on Christmas. They took Canadian Boxing Day off,
Unbelievable.
so they're not in the house.
Yeah,
so
they're not.
we grabbed our substitute.
Yeah. But
and
he's really no substitute. He's quite an expert. And his name is? Andrew. Yeah, Andrew's in the house.
so, but we have changed a lot of stuff on our system since last time Andrew
Yeah,
was here. So
we
we're
have.
trying to figure it all out. So just bear with us.
Yeah. Slow
Um,
start.
A little bit slow, but we
Yeah.
can get started, right?
Yeah, we could.
Well, I'm waiting for Natalie Eva Marie to turn on her
Well,
camera.
Yeah, I don't know. She's
And
having
then
troubles over there.
also, can you put the chat up so that we can read the chat?
Oh, yeah, we need to read the chat. Or I can go online. There's Natalie in the blue house. No, we shouldn't have to move it.
He does.
Uh-oh.
You guys are gone. You guys
We've lost
disappeared
signal.
from our stuff.
Ground control to Major Tom. 3, 4. This is Major Tom to ground control. There we go. We're back. We're back.
All right,
Hey,
guys.
everybody. So we have Walter in the house.
Yes, sir.
Natalie, can you unmute Natalie? Or what are you doing? Can you be unmuted, Natalie? Are you somewhere? You have to like just look at the screen over here with your mouse and click Natalie to unmute her. She's down, 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 over.
To the right. Just keep going our way. Keep going. One more. Up,
Up.
up, up. Right
Yep.
there. That's her. Very top one. Right there.
Yep, nailed it.
Hi, Natalie.
Now you can unmute Natalie.
Hi, boys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Shane, congratulations, 15 years to you and Marin. That's
Gracias.
huge.
Yeah, huge.
Chad, that sweatshirt is looking pretty nice.
You like that?
I
Can we
do.
turn the volume up for our speakers?
And you guys did very good on your live.
Nice.
Yeah, we had nobody on that one. We had people on there. There was like 250 people on
Yeah.
it, but
We
Shane
didn't
and
have
I
her.
did
It was
that.
just me and you. That
we
was
did
no-
it all by ourselves.
Yeah, we didn't have our mother taking care of us.
We didn't do that great of a job, but technically, I
As
mean,
you
speaking.
guys can see, I'm enjoying myself. I'm in my holiday pajamas, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are you at your mom's house?
She's home in
What?
Texas.
Oh, you're in Texas.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I haven't seen my husband in 2 months.
Right.
Come on.
Well, tell Jonathan that we said hi
Yeah.
and that we miss him and
Yeah.
we can't wait for him to come back out.
Yeah. And
In the meantime,
Yeah.
let's get started,
Okay,
man.
fair enough. I was getting lost track. Yeah, it's already 6:09.
Yeah, welcome to the
Yeah, let's get into
guys.
it. Okay,
Welcome
guys,
to
I'll mute myself.
welcome
No.
to the Recover Out Loud meeting, Tuesday night meeting. Super grateful to have everybody here.
Yeah.
We've got Walter in the house tonight. Just want to put out a friendly reminder that this is streamed live on YouTube. So, yeah, you know, if you don't want to be seen or heard, just turn off your camera. Everybody's welcome to attend this meeting.
Yeah.
Bring a friend next week. But tonight we've got Walter in the house. He's going to give us 20 minutes of his story, and then we're going to open it up for participation.
Yeah.
Walter, you're up.
Yeah, baby.
It's on me. All right. Start at the beginning. I was born and raised in Southern California, San Diego.
Wow.
1990 baby. So I'm still pretty young. But I had a very middle class life. Like both my parents are still together. Not the happiest marriage, but they're still together, and that means a lot. I had one younger brother. Didn't have a lot growing up, but never wanting. I never went hungry, was never missing for anything. I had parents that loved me, that supported me. You know, they have their foibles like everyone does, but overall, it was a normal childhood. From a young age, though, I mean, retrospectively looking at it, I always felt different. My mom showed me something about a year ago from when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and it was a picture I drew of a ship, and it was called the SS Suicide at like 5 or 6. Before most kids at 5 or 6 should have a concept of that. For some reason, my brain was already going that way. I always felt different. I always felt hard to connect. I felt that irritability, that disconnect, just discontent in general at a young age, and I always was trying really hard to overcome that through making people like me, for being kind, for all these different weird things. And childhood moved on just fine. Like I said, nothing really crazy going on until I started probably getting my teenage years. Maybe you want to throw a little puberty in there. Maybe you want to attribute that to, getting more rebellious, things like that. But lost my first friend at 14 to suicide, ironically. Stole his dad's handgun, locked down the school for like 3 hours, and then he shot himself in the canyon behind our house. And that was difficult. And a lot of those feelings I had amplified, but the whole world around me was like, we're moving on. So as a young kid, you don't know any better. But I had these emotions I didn't know what to do with, and they were just building, and they were starting to kind of eat at me, but I was told, push it down. So I did that, just kept moving forward. Couple years later, the next big change in my life is I got molested twice. And at that point, everything I thought I knew about safety, things about security, things like that, just started changing, getting real sideways really quick. Following year, a friend of mine got killed. But then the funny thing is, like, you look at it in the context, like, I came from a white middle-class family. It's not like I grew up in the hood or anything. It's just these things that happened to me that I had no concept of just started shaking who I was. And around that time, I started finding alcohol. And first time I drank was 16-ish, around there. And blacked out on tequila. First time, just out. And those emotions I didn't know how to deal with started making me angry, rebellious. I started fighting back against my parents, which it came out of left field for them because I was always a very kind kid. And I was also, I cared about others, but then I started getting resentful and angry when these things would happen. I couldn't understand them, and I didn't feel like I had anyone to actually go to. So much I love my parents, they're not, at the time, it was not people I talked to. And I started pushing back. I started having those ideas of a young kid, be like, I know what to do. I have all the plans. And I started trucking on forward and making really bad decisions. That time I got introduced to violence. I got introduced to consequences of your actions. That's one of the best ways I could describe it. And through this all, for some reason, I was still able to keep good grades, and I was still able to stay out of legal trouble. And on paper, I was still squeaky. So I was able to go to college. And of course, when I had the opportunity, I ran like 700 miles away from the house because all the stuff I didn't know how to deal with, all those things that happened to me where I grew up, I was like, well, if I leave and run away, which is a consistent theme about my life, maybe things will be better. And the funniest thing is I ran away and I carried all my stuff with me and my same coping mechanisms. And of course, now I'm away from the house, so I start finding drugs. And I find first time, I smoke something, I was just like, oh, wow, everything quiets. I don't feel so disconnected and weird. And it pretty much started right away. It just grabbed me. So I started doing that more progressively. It started changing into harder and more damaging drugs with more damaging people. There was times where like I was high every single second of a month throughout college, just the whole time. But once again, and I attribute this all to God pretty much, is I graduated college. Well, pretty much getting deeper and deeper in my addiction and was still doing stupid hooligan things with stupid hooligan people who I love dearly, but not doing the right stuff. I graduated college still with no record. And during that time, one of the things that became instrumental in my life was I found the outdoors. Like when I was younger, I rode bikes in the canyons and camped and stuff, but going out in nature, pulling away from the society I didn't know how to deal with, turned into my medicine. But it was escapism. It wasn't like healthy, like really going out and finding that spiritual place. I went out with tons of drugs and alcohol and just get blasted in the backcountry, which really isn't a smart thing to do. But because of that, when I graduated, I moved out to the mountains, moved out to Tahoe. Beautiful place, incredible. Call it poverty with a view. There's no economic opportunity, but you're young and you don't care about that. So you just want to go out, and I was trying to find my escape, trying to find somewhere to feel like I connect. And it was a beautiful, beautiful place, and it brought so much to my life. But the isolation away from, I'm born and raised in Southern California. I had some friends in college, but I would always just run. So same thing, I got to college, ran again to the mountains. And I just kept moving away from people who actually knew me. So I got more and more isolated. And that's really when I would say my addiction just exploded. It was all the time. I would always tell myself, be like, you don't have an issue because you never do it at work. Like I would never get messed up and go to work. But any second I wasn't there, I was under the influence of at least 2 or 3 things. I just would whatever I could do to make myself feel different. And of course, when you're behaving like that and you're doing all these things, like deep inside my core, there's that God part of me that wanted to do good still, like a little kid, still want to be kind, still cared about other people. But then all that fear on the other side of it would come up, and it would override, that what I knew I should be doing. And I would do things that would hurt people that were close to me, people I didn't even know. I hurt myself. And then you have that guilt and shame. That guilt and shame would just come barreling in those wee hours. And my coping mechanism was to go numb, just completely get number and number. At this time, I'd gotten into like emergency medicine. Started off, I worked up at a resort called Heavenly in South Lake, which got me really interested in just emergency medicine. And I was able to go work at the local hospital in the emergency room as a tech there. And I wanted to do good, but I was full of trauma. I was full of fear. I was full of selfishness, because every time I knew I wanted to do right, I would know the right thing to do, and then the fear would come up and all that stuff, and I'd be like, oh, I can't deal with this. I can't feel this. And then I would do the things that were counteractive to my nature, and I'd be pissed at myself, and then I'd go to oblivion to get away from it. And this cycle went from 24 to 29. That's when it really kind of hit its peak. But once again, I'm fine. I don't have issues. I still can hold this job. I'm not messed up at work. Like, of course I'm fine. And it just kept getting worse. I kept getting more and more isolated. I'd have moments where I'd do the right thing, and then just long stretches of just not living the way I wanted. And I got more and more and more dead on the inside. Where from the external part, like, I had a reputable job. People in my community were like, hey, like, he's a good guy. But inside I was dying every day. I had no connection to anything greater. I was nihilistic to the nth degree. I got bitter. I got angry. I mean, anger and violence is something that's plagued me for a good chunk of my life, because I didn't know how to deal with my emotions, and my lash was just to get fucking angry and then hate myself afterwards for what I was doing. So it got to a point where a lot of my close friends that I had up there had moved away. We were all going separate ways, and that last year became a living hell. It was really bad, and I was just blacking out all the time. I was not interacting with people for days on end. I would disappear in the mountains. I'd pass out in snowdrifts and half freeze and almost freeze to death. Get charged by bears because I'd be doing dumb stuff in the wrong area. Like, I didn't care if I lived or not. I didn't care what was going to happen to me, because I was just so angry with myself, angry at the world. I was a professional victim on so many levels. And at this time, a big change happened where my fiance, now then girlfriend, we reconnected. And I was changing careers because the hospital broke me. Like, still that compassionate kid, seeing so many people suffer and all that trauma. Like, I could not deal with the emotions. And I think that's another huge aspect of why I dove so hard in, because that was my medicine. It's like, I get messed up, and then the world disappears and I disappear. And it was a wild thing, but we started dating, and I started changing careers over to the fire service, is what I currently do now. And it was just so much of my life was just flipping over the top of my head. And for someone who had no idea how to handle anything, all of a sudden I'm getting thrust in this situation where I'm feeling very much like an adult, and I'm very much still a kid on the inside. And I'm really scared. I was scared because I knew that my addiction was going to destroy any semblance of normalcy that I had. Eventually it was going to hit a threshold, and I couldn't stop it. I got to that point where, like, people talk about all the time, but get off work and like, I'm gonna go home and I'll sleep. I'm gonna get some food. It's gonna be great. And the next thing I know, I'm just at the liquor store. I'm like, no. All right, just get like a snack and then go home. And I'm leaving with pints of whiskey and beer. Like, it just snowballed. And every day I was like, I'm gonna stop. And it got to the point I said, fuck it, what's the point? And you just like lean into it, and everything gets real dark. But I graduated Maya Fire Academy somehow, which was incredible. And I go back just like, I just think God was like, I got plans for you, buddy. Just stay with me. And I got a job. And a week before that job, I was able to move back down to where I grew up to start. And I attended a 12-step meeting where someone was talking. And I was just like, oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. And I was relating to everything they were saying. And then I hit that aha moment. And I got like slapped upside the head. And it's like, hey, you're one of them. That's why you relate to everything they're talking about. And I panicked and I ran out of the room. Like, I was freaked out. I was like, oh shit, that's what it is. And something I couldn't figure out, where I was just like, this is what's grabbed a hold of me. And this is like, and it was just that snowball of a realization of like, I can't unsee it anymore. Like, I'm screwed. But the beautiful part about it was the people around me were like, you're not screwed. Like, there's a solution. There's hope. There's something you can do about it, but are you willing to do it? And I was desperate. I've been dead inside for a long time. I had no hope for anything. But there's that desperation when you're like on those precipices that you're willing sometimes. And I'm very grateful that I was that desperate to be like, I'll do whatever. I was raised Roman Catholic. It was very fire and brimstone. I didn't like it as a kid. It terrified me when I was 5 and a priest said, I'm going to hell. And I was like, what did I do? So I always pushed against religion hard, and all these different things that happened to me, I would use that as proof that there's no God and the world's a jacked up place, and there's no point, no hope. But I'd seen enough in my life to this point where I realized I didn't know anything. Like my paradigm of existence had shattered a couple times over by this point. Like I had no footing. I was just drowning with weights attached to my ankles. It's the best way to put it. And I said, sure, let's give it a shot. So I dove into it, and I dove into it with no reservation somehow. This is the person that had excuses for everything other my entire life. And I just started doing what was told to me by people that I didn't really know, which is a weird thing to say, especially like I'm a capable individual in a lot of ways, and I pride myself in being able to do a lot. But coming to the realization that I had no power over this, like at all, and like you whatever it wants, it's going to drag you along with, because I have no defense, was hard to stomach. But I was able to just because I was desperate. And I started doing things that were told to me. I started, trying to seek something that had way more power than I did. I tried, my life was of service, but before that, I think it was a more selfish way of looking at it, where like I like to help people, but it was like more of I'm doing this because I'm going to feel good about it, which is a byproduct, yes, but my intentions were backwards. And I started trying to flip it over and being like, let's just help people for the sake of like, it's the right thing to do. And we all need help in this world. And it's going to be a beautiful thing, because some people tell me it will be. And honestly, who am I to say that they're wrong? Because everything I think is right is wrong anyways. It was just like this beautiful, just crushing of self when all this happened, and it was a kind of a perfect storm. Weird thing happens a month and a half in. So after I start and I'm sober about 60 some days, I do this to my finger. I work. I took 4 surgeries to get back to that. And I had to go through 4 surgeries and deal with pain medication. And I was terrified. I was just like, I just got here. I can finally think somewhat clearly for the first time in like 11 years. And I was afraid that all this was going to go back downhill. So what did? I did what the people told me. I just turned and said, okay, I'm going to rely on the people around me, because I can't do this. I don't have a connection to something yet, so I don't really have faith in something bigger than me helping. So I'm just going to rely on the people that I can tangibly see and touch and experience around me. And they walked me through it. People would pick me up and take me to meetings when I couldn't drive because I'm, medicated, or I don't have a right hand. So I have people helping me out all the time. My fiance or girlfriend at the time, they would regulate, where the medication was kept. I didn't know where it was kept. I didn't want to know where it was kept. That was like the first big speed bump, and I got through it. And I remember standing on the other side of it and being like, holy shit, like that would have just taken you out to a whole different area when you were younger. But it's different now, and I wonder why. And I didn't have the answers, but I also, things were going well enough where I didn't want to question it. And I kept moving along. Things kept getting better. And I'm not saying things are easy. Since becoming sober, I've lost multiple friends. I've dealt with extremely difficult things personally in my life. It hit a head maybe a year and a half ago, where one of my closest friends committed suicide, and I just broke down, and I had to go to treatment for 90 days, like a facility. And it was the first time in my life that I decided to actually face all the stuff that happened to me before. All the trauma from when I was younger, from the emergency room to fire, just all these different things. And it was beautiful, because if I wasn't sober, there's no way I would have been able to face that when I was younger. No way. Being able to face all the friends I had lost. I don't have the exact number. I'm somewhere in the high teens of people that I've buried, or people that I've known that have died, and all this was just shoved deeper and deeper and deeper and down, and the pressure was building and building. So I got to a point where luckily I was sober, where I could actually get to a place and be willing enough to actually try to work on it. And it changed my life. Like the best way I can describe it is I became reborn out the other side of it. And all this is because I was able to stay sober. And I did that through thinking of others. I did that through following a simple program that seems like it's ridiculous, but when you give yourself over and just commit, it changed everything. The only reason I was able to work through those traumas is because I was sober. The only reason that I'm able to step back and I was able to look at situations that terrified me with some humility and compassion and love is because I could see myself on the other side of it. And I started getting that connection to something bigger. And I call that connection God. You can call it whatever you want. It's an easy 3-letter word to say, so I like it. But I had something that I had faith in. I had something that was bigger than me that could help me when I needed it. And it was as powerful as I needed it to be. And it was beautiful. And coming from someone who even proclaimed themselves as an atheist for a period of time, it was a breath of fresh air. And life is beautiful. And it's always been beautiful looking back. I just couldn't see it because I was so caught up in my shit. It's something that's terrifying to approach because all we know is where we're at before. Like, I couldn't imagine getting by any day without being drunk or high. Like, there's no way I can deal with life's emotions on life's terms. Like, this sounds ridiculous. Like, I'm still a scared kid inside, and people are coming to me in an emergency room, you know, expecting me to know what to do, which I do. I know my job, but like, they see you as this hero, and you're really just as terrified as the next person. I'm just as scared as the people bringing their family in. And living that way is just it, especially for a person like me, is like when my will takes over, I make decisions that I think are going to be best, and they're never best. And you think you over and over again, you learn like, no, I'm wrong. No, you just double down over and over again. But it brought me to a place where like I was able to connect. I was able to start being the person I wanted to be. And I'm not saying there still isn't fear. There's still tons of fear. But I also understand that fear is healthy because I have stuff I don't want to lose now. You know, I have things that I'm proud of, and there's things I enjoy, and I'm much happier facing things on life's terms and just rolling with it as it goes. Because, yeah, it could be bad, but I'm going to be okay on the other side. Life might look different, might look drastically different, but things are always okay. It's like a saying I heard recently. It's like, you can't pickpocket a naked man. And I was always trying to hide all my shit for so long, and I realized that, like, you know what? It's who you are. Like, what? Were you going to run away and pretend to be something different? Like, you're still going to know on the inside it's not true. You're not being truthful. You're not living the way you should. So I'm not saying I divulge everything, but I'm honest with who I was. I'm honest with who I am now. And I can do that with faith because I have a God that I know that, like, hey, it's fine. You'll be accepted for who you are. You'll be accepted for your mistakes. And if people don't, that's fine too. They're on their own journey. You know, no one's my enemy. It's just they're out for themselves. And I can understand that. Life's not always easy. But it brought me love. It brought me compassion. It brought me patience and understanding. It brought me the ability to create friendships with people I never expect I would. And I had something I never had for a long time, which is feeling connected. Ever since I was a little kid, ever since I was talking about suicide ships when I was 5, like, I didn't feel alone. And today I have a relationship with my family who I didn't see for over a decade, like barely saw. My brother broke my heart, but he even told me, he's like, it's nice to have a brother back, because for 12, 13 years, like, I didn't have a brother. And that really hurt because he's my younger brother, and it was just the two of us. To know like the damage and stuff I'd caused, and it's not even like you're conscious like, oh, I'm gonna screw this person over. It's more of just you're just so self-centered with your thinking, like you're not thinking how it affects other people. But now we have a wonderful relationship. My mom and I actually talk. My dad's one of my best friends around. People call me for advice. You know, they ask me to come over and help them. I don't screw people over anymore. I don't try to rob people when I see they're slipping and I can see an opportunity. Like, things just get better. And it's not, I mean, I can say, yeah, I have my part. I did the work I required to do, but it's my track record shows that that's not how things go when I make decisions. For me, it's a lot of it I test. It's just like, I'm living in accordance with something greater than me. And when I do that, things work out every time. Maybe not how I wanted it, because what I want's selfish, and but they always work out, and sometimes better than I was expecting. And if I just get out of my own way sometimes, life's great. I know a lot of people tell me I come off serious. I have a very serious face and a serious tone in how I talk about things. But I'm actually a really fun-loving guy. Like, I have a lot of fun. I mess around constantly. I'm sarcastic as hell. I never want to be my old self, and I don't mean in the way of like how I dealt with things, but like, I'm not the person I was when I was younger, and I never want to be. It made me who I am. All that pain and all that suffering, like, because it's been able to be harnessed for something good, like, I am very proud of who I am today. And that's a weird thing to say from somebody who was not living a good life for the majority of my life. There's a lot of stuff that I carried shame and guilt and stuff I thought I'd never be able to work through my life, that I'd take to my grave, and I'm at peace with it these days, which is strange, and I don't entirely understand it, but I'm stoked. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and life continues to get better. I'm getting married next year. I have stability. I'm not constantly trying to look out over my shoulder and make sure I'm not dirty when I'm doing stupid stuff. I don't have to pretend like I'm a fraud when I go to work, because before I'd be like, oh, I help people. But then on the flip side, I would do stuff that was damaging and harmful to people. I don't live like that anymore. I have peace. It's all I've ever wanted is peace. And I have it. And it's weird to be like, okay, this is all bonus time now. Like, I got what I wanted out of life. I always wanted a peace of mind. I wanted to be okay, and I'm okay. So it's like, you kind of get excited. You're like, well, where do we go from here? Because I thought it was going to take me to my deathbed, or like I'd never get it. And I have it now at 33. And it's beautiful. And it's because I got out of my own way. I found something that was bigger than me. I trusted in others when I couldn't trust myself. It got me to this place sitting with you guys tonight and talking and sharing this, where before I would share my experience and I would redact the crap out of it because I was so afraid of like, what if I talk about something and someone's going to blah, blah, blah. And now it's just like, you know what? Like, yeah, that's my life. And if there's consequences, there's consequences. I have to live with that. But at the same time, I don't live my life with fear anymore. I'm going to do the right things to the best of my abilities, and I'm going to move forward. And if I can have any advice to anyone, is be vulnerable. Be that naked man. No one can take anything off of you. Just, understand who you are and be okay with it. Because there's a lot of stuff about me that's not great, but I also understand, like, I'm a person. I'm fallible. I'm always going to be fallible. Be vulnerable. Let yourself be open, because so many times that I've done that, beautiful things have come from the other side. Appreciate you letting me have time to talk about everything. Thank you.
Thanks,
Absolutely,
buddy.
man.
That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really nice. I got a new word, fallible. I like that word, fallible. Say it twice.
Oh boy, are we back on
I
words?
could be.
Fallible.
Walter's bringing something out of me. So Walter, I'll tell you something. My wife was a runner.
Oh, yeah.
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 She was a runner, so I related with what you were saying, because she was just always wanting, let's go.
Yeah.
And good for you for dumbing it down. And I mean that in a great way, because when I was playing hockey, was just dummy it down out there,
Yeah.
Just simplify everything. And that's what you did for yourself to make it through to the next step and the next day and the next month and the next year. And here you are going back to treatment for 90 days for mental health reasons.
Like 3+ years sober.
3 years sober. That's that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a real big decision. Watching out for yourself. That's huge. So that's all I got.
Well, amazing. I appreciate that. I like the word vulnerable.
Yeah.
And
a
when
good
I
word,
met
too.
Shane, he was the naked man.
I was.
That's
Literally?
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah. Unfortunately, I met him in a men's locker room, and he was hanging out naked in the
Hot tub.
hot tub.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, we don't do that in America. And he was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
I throw my Speedo on for you. My thong. Here you go, Chad.
Anyways, man, I appreciate your share. Let's open it up. Whoever wants to share, please raise your virtual hand.
Yeah.
And we don't really have a buzzer tonight, but just
I'll let you know.
keep it around 3 minutes.
Robert.
Robert, you're up, my man.
Yeah, man.
You just got to give him the unmute button. There we go. Look at you. You got it all set.
Hi, Robert.
Hey,
Robert.
Robert.
I don't know. Do we have? This is my first time here. Do I need to?
Welcome.
Oh, welcome.
You don't need to say anything you don't want to.
Hey, me too, man.
Okay, very good. Well, first of all, I'd like to say it's very. This is the first time I've watched y'all, and I've been following y'all for quite a while, and it's really nice to see a place where the bald men outnumber the guy with hair.
Hey.
They're, by the way, fantastic share. It's so. I heard an old adage a long time ago, and I never really believed it, where it said that everybody wants to believe that their problems and their successes are so different from everybody else's. And I've been sober since February 28th. But then I did relapse. I relapsed for about a month and a half, and so I'm newly back on track, I guess, as they say, on the beam or whatever, and for a month now, and it's really nice to a lot of the stuff you shared. It's so similar. Molested. I was also molested. Drinking very, very young. Also had a friend, by the way, I'm very sorry for your loss. I had a friend a year and a half ago that committed suicide also, which really kind of what got me on the track to being sober. That's the best way I can say it. It's just a great share in that self-isolation and also that idea of self-reliance to a fault.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? It's self-reliance to a fault, and my parents really are the ones who pointed that out around the time that I was starting to, as they say, hit your rock bottom, where my mom said those words to me. She said the problem is that you're self-reliant to a fault, and I. It's so funny because you think that nobody is out there. It's almost like you feel like people are out there that can help you, but you don't trust anybody out there to help you. Almost kind of like so you don't. But then whenever you get in a recovery with a group or with people or whatever it is, you start realizing how many people there actually are out there to help you and want to help you, and that you can let your guard down and be vulnerable. There's what is it? There's a power in being powerless.
Yes.
Now I sound like Confucius.
Maybe a Greek philosopher.
So I just want to say that was a great share. I actually just left a meeting. I left it just in time so I could log on here and see you guys finally, because I really appreciate everything y'all do. At least from what I see on social media, and I'll be in here
Nice.
every time you're on because y'all are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a beautiful night. Happy holidays to you, brother.
Happy holidays, guys.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for your share.
All right, we got Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Hi.
I am, my name is Jennifer, and yes, I'm an alcoholic. I did attend Hope by the Sea. Chad knows me. I have 1,304 days
Wow.
of sobriety.
Hey, there we go.
Awesome.
So I am very excited about that. And along the way, I've, kind of discovered it's been sad events that really catapulted me into my addiction, whether it was divorce, domestic violence. My mother passed away. My family was fractured. My dog died. And it all, yeah, and then COVID hit. And it seemed like I, assumed the role of being a victim. And my sister actually came to my house and she said, "We're not doing this. We are not doing this. We want you to live." And she asked me for my phone and she dialed the number and she made me talk. And I said, "But I have one dog." And she said, "Nope, I'm taking your dog home with me and you're going to treatment." Um, And I wanted to preface my, I guess, this little bit of a share with you because um, during my addiction during COVID, I would be out in the neighborhood walking my dog or riding my bike or something. And one of the neighbors that lived down the street was kind of instrumental in also encouraging me to get some help. And the point that I wanted to get to is that I saw her daughter on Christmas Eve. And her daughter, I hadn't seen in probably 25 years or more. And she said to me, "You know, my mom was really worried about you." And of course, that feeling of shame came over me at the moment. And she said, "My mom was so concerned about you that she didn't realize that I'm an alcoholic." And I went, "Oh." And this woman now has 2 years of sobriety. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I've continued to post on Facebook milestones and things like that, and let the people, I find it to be a level of accountability for myself. I want people to know that I'm still on track. I still want people to know that it can happen at any time, but I'm being honest to myself, and I think that's, you know, a very important point. Um, I went to church on Christmas Eve, and I'm a Catholic, and I had been struggling with, do I accept the blood of Christ at communion? Because, of course, it's wine. And I have not done so because I just think that's not what I need to do for myself. And after Mass, I spoke with the bishop, and I asked him for a blessing, and I said to him, 300 days ago, I asked you for a blessing. That was at my 1,000 day milestone. And I said, so I'm here today, and I'm at 1,302 days, and I'd like a blessing. And so we had a prayer together, and I then mentioned about going to communion. And I was really kind of disappointed because of the fact that he told me that I should try it. And I thought, are you kidding me? I should try it. I put myself into addict mentality, and I was thinking, so if I was a heroin addict, I could take a half a syringe or a half a dose to see if I can, you know, have the willpower to not go forward. But what the beautiful thing that I discovered is that I really don't need any blessings going further
There you go.
from the head of the church. And like I said, the fact that I've been posting along and stuff, and just out of the woodwork, people are asking me questions, and I've been inviting people to meetings, and, you know, they're afraid to come on. They don't know what's going to happen. And I had that fear when I, you know, stepped out of Andre's car at the you know, the first house that I was at. I'm sorry, the Anzar house. Yes. And I didn't know what to expect with recovery, but it's generating curiosity. People are identifying that they have a problem, and I'm trying to tell them that there is hope. And I think that's important.
Mm.
So I wanted to have a happy Christmas story
Nice.
today. So
Yeah,
thank
there
you
we
for
go.
letting me
Thank-
share.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. She's
Jen-
she's the one that I talk about
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, she's got a new pair of shoes on, man. And she is walking a new path today. That is
Yeah.
for sure. Good for you, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Good for you. You taught me something today.
Thank you so much.
Good for you. That is awesome. I love that share. She's a strong woman. Good for you. Don't let anyone slow you down. You do what's right for you.
All right,
Damn.
we got another.
Absolutely. Thanks
Thank you,
again.
Jennifer.
Thank you.
Thank you. April. April.
Is that how you say it?
I'm going to.
Yeah.
I would say
I'm
April
an
or April.
alcoholic.
April.
You guys try it every time.
Yeah.
but
Wait.
you're good.
Okay, so we say it wrong every time, right?
Well, it's April in Spanish, so we talked about. So if you want to say,
Yeah, I remember that.
Right.
I do. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. I'm going to forget again. I'm going to keep it new.
And-
I'm going to keep it fresh for next
I
week.
like it.
Yeah.
I like the effort. Okay, a Braille alcoholic. That was a really good share. I almost cried when you mentioned your brother, because that's exactly what's been going on recently. I'm coming up on 7 months this next weekend. And this time around, it's different for me, and it's because I really want it this time. I used to always say, I went to rehab because the court made me, or because my parents wanted me to, and it never worked. And it wasn't, I think, because I was doing it for other people. It was just I really didn't want it.
Yeah.
I knew the power that alcohol had over me. I knew what it was doing to me, emotionally, physically, everything. I didn't care. I wanted to keep on drinking. And this last run, I went pretty hard, and I never want to feel that way again. I am blessed that, I did get back into treatment at a good time, and I worked my program this time around, and I concentrate a lot on what sobriety is doing for me. I used to beat myself up tons about what an alcoholic I was, and yes, I am an alcoholic, but I am a sober alcoholic right now, and the amount of things that I have accomplished in these 7 months, not just, with monetary value, but with just, I don't know, just value. I value every breath and every moment that I'm living right now. My brother just told me, he actually went to my job today, and I was a little worried. I'm like, what happened? And he went to take me my Christmas present because it got there late, and he didn't have to go all the way to my house. To my job. And I don't know, I felt different, and he told me, he said, I'm glad I have my sister back, and that was big he's my little brother, and, I did disappoint him, and, he saw me as a mom for a long time, and, I wasn't that person to him. He was worried about me. So, thank you for mentioning that about your brother, because that's how I felt today.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But yes, I am sober today, and I'm working my program, and I am the closest I've been to God and to my family and to myself. And that's a huge, huge reason, because I am sober, and because I'm very proud of being sober. And that's it. Have a good day, you guys.
Awesome.
That
Thank
was
you so
awesome.
much.
What a great night I'm having.
I know, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
My mood has changed from one talker to the next talker. Like, she threw me the totally other direction about being proud of who you are, no matter what that is, and looking at God in a different way. So she just kind of turned the mirror on. Instead of focusing on her alcoholic state and frame of mind, she turned it around and focusing on her sober frame of mind.
Yep.
And make herself special. And that's what she is. This is fucking beautiful. Wow, sorry.
Shane's on one tonight,
I'm
boy.
excited. It's
Yeah.
Christmas, baby. It's Christmas.
So you're feeling it. Just
Yeah,
feel
roll with it.
I'm feeling it. We have, what's her name is next?
What's her name? I don't even do that. It's Kimberly. Come on. We don't know what her birthday is, but her name is Kimberly.
Hey, Kimberly.
I know it now. There's a period of time.
Alcoholic.
Hey.
Hey, Kimberly.
Hi, it's so good to see you guys again.
Yeah.
You too.
Oh, Walter, that was so beautiful. It's so cool because, even for anyone who wasn't on here at the beginning of the meeting, Walter's my fiance, and I've gotten to hear Walter speak so many times, but you get to see somebody's growth and their transformation every time they speak. And so that was by far just the most authentic, raw, beautiful share that I've heard from you. I'm super emotional. You can just like see that really fucking hard work that you've done over the last year and a half. um, there are some really cool things that stood out, like um, like that depth of despair and hopelessness. And like, I really do think that alcoholics and addicts, I think that while we experience this depth of like loneliness and despair and hopelessness and just absolute like spiritual destitution, but then on the other side of that, I think because of that like depth of darkness that we've had, I think on the flip side of that, we get to experience a greater capacity for joy, for hope, for peace, for belonging, for, purpose and connection and all of those things. And like, that was what really stood out to me listening to your share tonight, was like these polar extremes that we have to, but also get to experience as people in recovery.
Yeah, fortunate enough to experience.
The vulnerability that you talked about is just like, I still remember my first sponsor, and she talked about like the best gift you can give somebody is your authenticity and be vulnerable. And I'm like, bitch, I don't know who I am. And so I'm afraid to be vulnerable because I don't know what's going to come out. And like, getting to watch how we cannot heal until we reveal those parts of ourselves. Like, we cannot heal in isolation. We heal through connection. We heal by revealing ourselves to others. And I'm just so incredibly grateful to get to be on this journey with a person who is working on themselves in the same way that I am, that I know that every time we have a conflict, we are separating and doing the exact same things. We're calling our mentors, we're looking for our parts, we're writing our inventories, we're praying, we're meditating, we're connecting to our higher power, and we're looking for like, what's the best solution for us as a partnership. And I still remember the day that you came to me and said that you were an alcoholic. And I cried. I had a fucking meltdown, you guys. I did not handle it well. And I sat there and I was sitting on the curb outside the fellowship and I was crying. And Walter's mentor came up to me and he's like, "Why are you crying?" I was like, "Because Walter's an alcoholic and I don't know what's gonna happen." And he goes, "Do you love him?" I said, "I absolutely love him." And he said, "Well, don't you think you're just gonna continue to fall more and more in love with him now that he's a man who's living by spiritual principles?" And like, from that day on, I didn't have fear anymore, and that just became the truth in our lives. Was like, I've fallen more in love with you as you've like come to like love yourself. And like, I love everything about recovery, but like, getting to have that in my relationship is so powerful. So thank you guys.
Wow.
Awesome.
Just another level for me right there, man.
Yeah.
I was almost started crying because of fucking Kimberly here. I don't know what am I having I was going to say something feminine there. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, you should.
Because we're in the 2023, so that's not right. But
exactly.
I'm feeling really fucking sensitive right now. Thanks a lot, Kimberly.
Wait, what happened? Did somebody's picture change?
No, Kimberly moved over, and we're going to talk to Lena now.
No, there was a different picture on.
I don't know.
Before. All right, Lena, you're up.
Pass the Kleenex.
Just so you guys know, keep it about 3 minutes, just because we're running out of time. Not that I care, because I'll go over it all day long.
Oh.
So you guys don't worry about
Just
it.
go take as long as you want.
Yeah.
Got it. For 3 minutes. I got it. Well, I just wanted to say congrats, Shane, on your anniversary.
Thank you.
You guys give me so much hope, all of you, everybody in this meeting today. I was born into addiction. Both my parents were addicts. I don't recall a time where I don't remember either of them being sober. And now neither one of them are with us. They both, at some point, their addictions, took their lives, and that was the life that I had to live. And so did my brothers and sisters. And I don't want to, go over the 3 minutes. So I just want to kind of keep it short. I'm currently undergoing chemo. I'm in the fight of my life, but I have a lot of hope because of people like you, that whatever the struggle is, whether it's, disease, struggling with alcoholism or drugs, whatever the case may be, I believe that, when you come into agreement with individuals who've committed to change and help other people change, that gives me a lot of hope. I have a brother who's on the streets of San Diego right now, and I still hold out hope for him that one day he's gonna, find the way to get himself sober and get himself into a place, where he can, finally make that journey. And I hope to be here to witness it. And there's a strong possibility that I won't be. But I want to say this: want to keep this has been a really good meeting and I'm enjoying every second of it. I just want to say that all of you give me so much hope, even though I never saw my parents, um, you know, beat their disease. Um, I still get to see people like y'all, and you all give me so much hope, and I just thank all of you for that.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a crazy night for me.
You're definitely in our prayers
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing is set in stone. It's only if we give up hope it is.
True.
Exactly.
You got this.
And if you find your brother, if you find your brother, have him reach out to us. We have 2 scholarships right now. One in there's a young guy named Cooper Noriega who was a TikTok influencer who died from fentanyl about 18 months ago. We have a scholarship in his name, and then we have one in Elijah Perla's son.
Yeah.
All right.
Died from fentanyl, so we have 2 scholarships open up at our treatment centers over here. So if you find him, let us know.
And Chad, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for the loss of your son-in-law, and it makes me so happy to see that you're honoring his life with what you're doing, and this is just incredible, and I love to see it. I love to hear it. You guys are so comforting in so many ways. You have no idea. But anyways, before I get emotional, just want to say thank you and happy holidays. And
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I almost cried right there.
Yeah, I know, bro. I'm right on the edge.
Yeah.
Don't cry.
Crying's good.
I don't mind crying. Like I cry all the time. If you guys watch the podcast, I'm probably the biggest crier on the podcast.
You are.
Oh, it's healthy.
Yeah. Zamzow?
Zamzow.
What's going on, Chuck?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Yo.
Were you worried that Shane got fired?
A little bit.
I'll burn this fucking place down, Chuck.
Other gigs, he said, so I was trying to figure out what other gigs he was doing, and that other gig was quite hilarious.
It was ugly, Chuck.
I just want to know if anybody watched his other gig, because that was ridiculous. Like, what the hell was going on with Shane in that elf suit?
I was having fun in the rain.
That guy, just so you guys know, that guy, if you guys go and watch that reel, that guy was going to give Shane a job.
Yes, construction or something.
Yeah, doing construction.
Yeah.
Like,
Took me
what?
5 minutes to walk over here and get another job. That's what America is, bro.
What a nice guy. Seriously, though. And seriously, that's like, that's a great guy. Chuck, I'll let you share now.
He didn't speak a lick of English.
No, but he was giving Shane his phone number at.
Give him a job.
Yeah, he was.
He's like, I like this guy's gusto.
100%. 100%. Either that or he was scared.
That was the biggest elf I've ever seen in my
it was a
life.
good
Just so
time.
you guys know.
Okay, sorry. Chuck, have you spoke already?
No, not yet.
All right,
That's
sorry,
all right.
buddy.
Hey, just real quick, guys. I'll keep it short today. Man, I just heard a lot of wisdom through that share today. Something that stood out to me in the word commitment. If I remember, that's what was said during the talk was commitment.
Yep.
That was the main thing I had to do when I came back in 15 years ago was I had to make a commitment to this thing. I needed to make it work.
Yeah.
And I was willing to do anything I had to do to get plugged in, to be vulnerable, to be able to share and show the emotion, even though I hated showing the emotions, and get the trust with these other guys that were taking the time out for me. And I mean, I heard so many good things tonight. I don't know really what else to add, but life is short, and I always heard that term here today, gone tomorrow, and I try to make the best out of everything today, and I was given a second chance at life.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me right there was the big wake up call after my accident. Was the big wake up call that okay, somebody spared me for something, so we'll figure it out later what's going on.
Amen to
and
that.
then that's one of the main reasons why I keep coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I got, guys.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck.
And she forgot to fish.
Who is that?
Who's making fish?
Somebody's cooking.
Someone's cooking. I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Oh, look at that. unmuted.
Is it
still.
Lena?
Yeah, she's unmuted.
She's still-
Lena, are you cooking? That's okay. We don't mind. What's the recipe?
Yeah.
My husband just got home.
What's oh, that's so nice. You're cooking them fish. That's so nice. What kind of fish?
I think he was talking about the dog chicken. We're getting ready to feed the dog.
Oh, good. Yeah, fish meal for the dog. That's right. That's a little messy. I used to do that.
What kind of dog?
Sorry, I'm muting.
No, that's fine, Lena. We
Alright.
don't care. We don't mind.
Victor's up.
Victor.
Beautiful sunset.
New Mexico. Only in New Mexico.
Well, he disappeared.
Alien abduction.
Oh, yeah, we just thought you were abducted by an alien right
Hey,
now.
Victor.
Now I'm a little bit far from Roswell.
All right.
But yeah, thanks, Walter. That was badass, dude. There's a lot in there, like Chuck said. But what I really took from it was, finding that power and the powerlessness, and then getting out of my own way, right? Because at the end of the day, I think I know everything when I really don't know shit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So just getting out of my own way and trusting in somebody, or something that can, guide me in this. Grateful to be here. Grateful for everybody that's here. And then Chad, I'll hit you up in your DMs. This is actually a picture. The Aurora Borealis was actually visible down here earlier this year, so it's a picture that my cousin took.
It got
I'd
that
love
far
to send
south.
you guys
That's
maybe
cool.
a canvas or something of it.
Yeah, man.
Oh, nice.
That's
My
sweet.
my daughter's name is Aurora, and we named her after the Aurora Borealis.
There you go. Serendipitous.
True
Yeah.
story.
Yeah,
True
I
story.
was pretty tripped out when they said we had the Northern Lights in the Southwest, but it was badass. My cousin's a badass photographer.
That's cool.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool, man. Yeah.
I'll send you a few of maybe like the link to his stuff, but I'd love to send you guys a canvas.
That'd be
Love to
dope.
see it there
That'd
on
be
the wall
awesome,
somewhere.
bro. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
What a great night. Victor, thanks, brother.
Yep, thank you guys. You guys have a happy New Year and
Wow.
Merry
You
late
as well.
You
Christmas.
too.
Thank you.
You too. What a kind guy.
Yeah.
Just
I
a
hope
happy,
that-
kind, loving man that is right there, Victor.
First and foremost, can I say what a bomb meeting this was tonight?
Oh.
That was fantastic.
Like, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Natalie boned out early.
She had to.
Yeah, whatever.
She hasn't seen her husband in what?
She had 2 months.
It's only been
2
2
months.
months.
She was here in studio for 2 months.
Yeah.
I can relate to that though. Kim and I had.
We fed her. What the hell's the problem? We fed her. She had water. She had fucking food. I don't see what the problem is. She had a roof over her fucking house. Got a lot of nerve.
Over her house?
Roof over her head.
Whoa.
Jesus. Murphy.
Uh-oh, you better watch out because Stagehand Sally will come at you.
You're damn right she will. I think it's 7:05.
Yeah, well, just want to say thank you guys. Amazing
Yeah.
meeting. I always feel better
Always.
when we leave this meeting. I appreciate everybody for showing up on a weekly basis. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and everybody, please have a safe and sane New Year's.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'll be logging in from Mexico.
Yep, Shane will be in Mexico next
yeah.
week, so he'll be logging in from Mexico.
Yeah.
Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
I'll tell you I'll give you guys the exact address.
Yeah, room number and everything. If you want to come on down.
You got the
Yeah.
flight numbers.
Flight
everything?
number,
Fucking A.
everything for Shane.
For sure.
All right, guys, let's pray out. Now,
Yeah.
we're not going to do the dance this week. We'll
All
do
right.
it next week. We're a little bit.
God,
God grant me the
serenity
serenity
to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the
and
wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Amen.
We love you
Time
guys.
to
We'll see you
dance,
next
y'all.
week, baby.
Woo.
Thank you all.
See ya. I'm
See ya
just
next
turning
week.
the lights off.